And the manager has come to me after 5 minutes and she's like, hi ma'am, we have tossed the suitcase. They threw the suitcase. So I was like, oh my god, and I had like sourced a lot of outfits for my shoots. There were a lot of luxury bags in my suitcase. So I had a roller coaster. I've started crying, I've started howling. I'm like, okay, what just happened with me? And sometimes I love to experiment. Sometimes I want to be out of my comfort zone. I want to like try each and everything. Sometimes I just want to be in a very cash white shirt, blue jeans. You know, I just want to be like wearing that. For me, I think fashion is all about how you are feeling. It's been 10 years and till now I have I've made such strong connection with my audience that they support me and they love me, and I think that also keeps me going because they are not bored of me. They want to keep seeing me and they want to be like, okay Riya, share this, share that with me. They should also try this angle, making content creators as their brand ambassador for the longer time, not just for one
for
campaign.
a launch or something.
Yeah, for a launch, or not just for a campaign, like just like a proper launch. Like for
Hi Riya, welcome to Social Catch Up.
hi.
It's such a pleasure to talk to you. Like I was telling you, because I've followed your journey. I've been following you since so many years, and I've seen you evolve with your content, with the kind of work you're doing. So it's such a pleasure that I feel that I'm part of your journey, because I, as an audience, I was, and with whatever you're gonna talk about, I will relate to you, and I will go back and okay, I know about her in
Oh my
that
god,
sense.
thank you so much. It's like I'm glad that you've been supporting me for the longest time, means a lot. And thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited for the whole interview to go.
Thanks. I want to start with your journey in general, because I want to come before we come to the work you do right now. I want to start and go back to that Riya and understand how did it all happen for you? How did fashion happen to you?
So I'm gonna start at firstly, I'm not a fashion student. A lot of people don't know that. I'm not studying fashion or styling. It was just I just had a passion towards styling since the very beginning. I think it started when I was in my 10th standard. I think if you ask me, and Jessie, college life you were entering, right? So my only aim was that people should ask me where are my outfits from and how did I come up with that styling, in my 10th standard, like when I was entering my 11th. So that was something which I think it happened automatically. The love towards styling and fashion, it was growing. By that time, again, I was a baby. I wasn't just in 11th standard. I was just 15, and I was just used to enjoy dressing up like how other girls love dressing up. So I think as soon as I was entering my graduation, and that's when Instagram was also born. Very in that, like in 2014, I think Instagram was picking up back in India. I had like a very very minimal audience following me. Like that time 2000 followers was also
Big deal.
a very very big deal, and that time I had around 2000 or 1500 followers, and I used to wonder why are they following me, and they used to always keep asking me, where is that outfit from, where is that shoes from, where is that bag from, oh my god, I love how you styled your white shirt. And I was like, wow, I'm loving it, people are liking my styling. And again, I think I always had, my passion was very clear. I think it was always about styling. Always like I have to have like my outfit has to be a game, and people needs to know, needs to ask me. It's not about looking pretty. It's about my outfit is looking great. Like that was my aim, and I think that's where I think my fashion journey had begun. And you won't believe when I've done BMS. I'm a marketing student. I've never ever got a KT. Okay, I've never, like the whole semesters, all the 3 years, I did not get the KT. But last sem, when I was supposed to graduate and I had my passion towards fashion had already started, I got a KT. I was like, what? I was supposed to graduate now. I was supposed to like pass, and I got a KT. And then I was like, you know what? It's okay. I did not like felt bad about it. In fact, I started working on my passion more. So that's where I think the fashion girl was born. And then I think I started my blogging journey as well. So yeah, that's how it started.
So how do you define fashion? What is your definition that okay, this is what fashion means to me, and this is what fashion content creation means to you?
If you ask me what fashion means to me, again coming fashion for me, it's about how you want to be, how confident you feel, how you wanna see yourself as. It's not like for a lot of people, fashion means very differently. For me, it's about how confident it's making me feel. For me, it was all about that. If that is something that's making me confident, then I'm all game. And sometimes I love to experiment. Sometimes I want to be out of my comfort zone. I want to like try each and everything. Sometimes I just want to be in the very cash, white shirt, blue jeans. You know, I just want to be like wearing that. For me, I think fashion is all about how you are feeling in your style. You know, all about your personality. Yeah. So for me, that, and coming to fashion creation, I think I'm still learning. If you ask me, it's been 10 years. I'm still like, there's so many things which I think we keep learning each and every day. For me, again, it goes hand in hand, fashion and fashion creation. It again, like what suits me, what I'm feeling confident about. Sometimes I'm like, no, I want to go out of the box. Sometimes I feel like, no, I want to experiment. Sometimes I know I don't want to experiment. I want to keep it very, very casual. So yeah, that's something which fashion and fashion creation is something which I have my definition to.
Okay, so tell me, Ria, so what was the reason that so you mentioned that you started fashion content creation because people were asking about you.
Right.
So what's that reason that is still keeping you in fashion content creation? I mean, I'm sure that's not the same because of which you started.
I think it's the passion. I think I'm very, very like I love my work. I enjoy creating content. I'm not bored of it. Yeah, sometimes I'm just like a little I'm not motivated sometimes, but I'm not bored of my work. I love my work, and that keeps me going. Like, of course, things have changed, as you mentioned. Yeah, it's not about people asking me. People, of course, still do ask me, but I think I am very, very like how people say when you love your job, you're just giving your 100%. But I think I just love it, even if it's been 10 years and I still love my job a lot. It's nothing has changed. Yeah, I'm feeling like, no, I do not want to do this anymore. I want to like switch it. I want to do something else. Yeah, there's something which you want to keep adding to your feathers, of course. But I think that keeps me going. I love my job, and trust me, the audience also keeps me going. It's been 10 years and till now I have I've made such strong connection with my audience, that they support me and they love me, and I think that also keeps me going because they are not bored of me. They want to keep seeing me and they want to be like, okay, Ria, share this, share that with me. So that also keeps me going. I was like, even if I feel a little demotivated, they are the ones who keep me motivated. Sometimes they're like, oh, where are you? You're MIA. Like, you know, if I'm not posting for 10 days, I do get few DMs that they're like, hello, are you there? Knock, knock. I'm like, yeah, I am there. So, you know, that way.
So nowadays, fashion has also taken a lot of fashion content creators to global events. You've been part of so many global events. So how do you think that is impacting the industry overall?
So again, you know, if going to global event, definitely a good opportunity. It keeps adding up, and you need such kind of opportunity to level up your game, right? You always have like, okay, one thing will add up, and that's something which always, it's the growth you're looking at, right? Ultimately. So I think that's a growth you're looking at. That's a good factor. Knowing and growing on global level, it always adds a lot on your portfolio. So that way I feel like it's required, and that's somewhere even you feel proud about, like, okay, wow, you know, I'm reaching out on global level and I'm working with global brands. I'm going for international events where brands are actually inviting us. So I think that's something which helps you to keep growing and keep growing more and more.
But how are these events different from the Indian events that happen? How are these changing things for fashion content creators in India? Because a lot, what I'm trying to get an understanding is, because a lot of fashion content creators are going to global events, and global events are also being very much dependent on these creators. They want that there should be someone from India, there should be someone from some other country, and they are asking for creators, and they are willing to invite, they're willing to extend that invite. The global brands also are big. So how are these brands so different, these events are so different than what happens in India?
I think every event, like, you know, globally, if you're getting approached, it's always, again, as I mentioned, it's all about adding to your growth. And it's such a great thing, you know, like the economy is booming, the content creation economy is booming, and getting called on global level, it's again a plus for fashion creators. It's like, you know, it's like a good opportunity that we get to work with international brands. And coming to how different they are, if you ask me, there's no proper definition to it. Indian brands, we love them. We are Indian creators, and the way they treat us also is really, really nice. The way the Indian creators and Indian events are happening. Same with the globally, I feel it's more about how Indian creators are killing it globally now. That's like making a great impact, I think, and that's like the need of an hour right now. And I feel it's great if we are getting recognized globally. It's more like a great thing for the Indian creators.
So do you think Indian Indian events will also be that globally acclaimed someday? And are we going towards it? So
I
like
think so.
global
Yes.
creators would want to come and attend the events like this. They'll die to come in.
I think yeah, they will. I think that's going to happen. I think that can be the next thing which will happen. You never know. Um, Again, India as an economy is booming, right? So I think that is something which will be happening soon, and we never know. Maybe the next week we might see some international influencers coming to India and exploring. And India is known for its cultures, and brands mixing cultures, and creating some kind of event. I'm sure they would want to get global creators to India, and that will also be an achievement for global creators coming to India. I think that is going to be a plus for everybody. Yeah.
Okay, tell me, you've been a fashion content creator since 10 years. What's that one big dream that every fashion content creator has, or you also have?
10 years, I think one big dream, or you could just say in my bucket list. I have a lot of things in my bucket list, but I think I want to be a face or a brand ambassador for a brand, like a big brand, like a very well recognized brand. That's something which I have been aiming and trying to be achieving, and maybe achieving in the coming future. So yeah, I think that's something which I want to be. Like how like in India, abhi tak like content creators boom, like content creation is booming, but there's so many things where we are still working on. Like we always, like for brands, we always are picking up on Indian celebrities till now. Like Bollywood is still and will always be, right? I feel somewhere we have already like proving ourselves, and I think somewhere the brands are also working towards it. But I think that they should also try this angle, making content creators as their brand ambassador for the longer time, not just for one
For
campaign.
a launch or something.
Yeah, for a launch, or not just for a campaign, like just like a proper launch, like for a collection, or just spring, summer, autumn, winter, and just be the face of it, and go all out, like how they go all out when they're launching like a Bollywood celebrity as a brand ambassador. Do that with the content creators. That's been one of my dream. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you think where are OG fashion content creators now in their career, because and where how are they taking the industry overall ahead? Because a lot of fashion content creators have come in the last 5 years now, and the definition is also changed on how they create content, because a lot of hauls are happening, a lot of get ready with me is happening. Have OG content creators also dependent on such content? Are they also making similar kind of content, or they are way much more evolved in some sense?
OG creators are right here, and they're not going anywhere. Firstly, we are not going anywhere. I want to speak for all the OG creators on their behalf. We are here for a reason till date, and we are going to be here for the longest time. Coming to doing Get Ready With Me, coming to do hauls, I think we have done it way back, and now it's it's circling back, and I'm glad that everything circles back. It's like a history, like pura revolve hota rehta hai. So that's been happening, and I think everything goes hand in hand. To be very honest, like when you're saying where are OG creators, what are their plans, I think they are killing it out there. If you ask me, I think I'm killing it with my work. I'm focusing on my lane. I'm doing what I'm doing at, and other creators which are coming up, that's great, because the competition is gonna go crazier and crazier and crazier. But again, I'll just give you an example, right? There are 100 of doctors, but you just have one specific doctor you go to because you've made you have like a history with them, and you're confident with that doctor, that will get you fine. Same with your creators, like they have 100 creators, but I still have a very strong base, because they're like, okay, no, we have to go back to Rhea because this is what Rhea is known for. So that's why people are creating their own niche. So I am very confident that, and I'm sure I can speak on other OG creators, we are very, very confident that we have created our own niche, and that's why people keep coming back to us till date. Agar jana hota, to we could have just gone way back, but OG creators are still, I think, killing in the game, and they're still killing it with the competitors coming in, and with evolving is something which we are very much up with it, and we are also evolving and learning. but हम लोग कहीं जा तो नहीं रहे हैं for sure.
Definition of fashion content creation for people coming now and to the ones who are the OG is different. You can see them, you can have a look at their content, and you'll find a striking difference in their approach. What do you think is that differentiation for them?
So I think everybody here, Mrinal, is creating their own way, their own niche, and I think that's their approach, and that's a great approach. Like they see their content creation in their way, and we used to see content creation a different way. I think again depends on the audience. If they really love it, they'll pick that up, and they will be like, okay, this is something which we love. And I feel, yeah, there is a lot of difference how they want to show their way of fashion creation or get ready with me, but that's great. Like, everybody has their own way of saying it. I think that's what differentiate each and every one of them. So I think they're doing a good job, and I feel there's no, again I'm just saying it again, there's no definition. I think everybody has a different way of showing what they're good at, and their approach is always going to be different, and I'm glad they're following it also, because सब एक ही में नहीं घुस जाएं कि अरे हाँ सब ये करे, but their way of showing it's in a different format. So I think that's good in a way. Yeah.
And to add to you, I feel that the difference that can also happen because of the generation, because the Gen Z generation's expectation and from fashion and from content both is different than it was, because initially it was more of a very aesthetically pleasing Instagram. Now it's very raw, appealing Instagram.
And it's good, again I said, when it's called evolving and learning. There are some days when I am learning so many things, I'm like, oh yeah, this is something which is new, which I should definitely try it out, and I should definitely see how it goes. Because earlier, yes, as you mentioned, it was all about being aesthetic, being about perfection, being about that correct picture, the correct background, the correct location. Everything was like, it was well thought through. And now, yes, the generation gap and the Gen Z people, and they're keeping it very raw, very natural, very candid. That's, in a way, it's very good as well, because a lot of people are accepting that too, and that's a good change. And I'm saying change is constant. Yeah.
And change is good as well.
And change is good as well. Yeah. Change is good, and you keep learning. And learning is like, you never stop learning, I feel. Like, you never stop learning. Like, you're picking up, like, while you were talking to me, I picked up one line from you. Yeah, I never knew this. Before we started the interview, I'm like, okay, this is something which I learned. You never know where we are learning from where.
Yeah. So coming back to you, what's your process of fashion content creation in general, or any content that you create? What's your process? How do you come up with an idea? How do you evolve with it? Work on it?
Oh, I would love to say that, people think that it's just like an hour job. Earlier to लोगों को लगता था photo खींच रहे हो ये है और कुछ नहीं, but now people have understood content creation. So for me, when I'm creating like a reel or a get ready with me video, or I'm shooting for a fashion brand, there's a lot of things which goes on. Firstly, the brainstorming takes a lot of time, like how I want the reel to be or the post to be. Whenever I am like, I've become like it's like I have my timetable, like, I have my team where we are brainstorming, and I'm very like, okay, this is something which we need to do, come up with some unique idea. And right now, again, because the competition, as we've been talking, you can't just keep doing the same thing. You need to come out with a unique way, right? So we always brainstorm. We are always like, okay, this is how we want it to be. Then the next thing is how we want the whole reel to look out. Then location is getting locked. Then we're talking to the videographer. We're explaining how we want the reel to be. Then I think the shooting is just a 1%. Rest 99% is everything else. Once shoot is done, that's like the last process. Before that, there's a whole big process of executing, shooting, of styling, brainstorming, location hunting. If you're shooting outdoors, if you're shooting indoor, then how you want the light to be, how you want everything is like thought well, for me at least. Like I make sure that when I'm shooting, because again I come from the OG factor, so I am an OG creator, so I am like nahi mujhe aisa chahiye, mujhe waisa chahiye. I try doing raw as well, but sometimes when I'm creating like a fashion centric reel, I make sure that everything is like tick marked properly for me. I work with in a very systematic manner, but sometimes I feel that kabhi I should change it. Yeah.
So I see you shooting on roads a lot.
Love shooting outdoor. If you ask me, I'm a very outdoor person. I don't know COVID क्यों आया और indoor इतना क्यों हुआ, but I love shooting outdoor. I don't know. It just brings out the best.
So tell me, what are the challenges when you shoot outdoor?
A lot of challenges. You just need to ignore everybody around you. Firstly, I've learned that. A lot of challenges. People will stare like स्टेयर गेम में ही मार देंगे कि इतना गंदा स्टेयर करेंगे फर्स्ट ही, वो तो मैंने इग्नोर करना लाइक वो तो मैंने इग्नोर करना स्टार्ट कर दिया. देन where do we change? That's like the biggest question. Like where do we change? Earlier we used to always, I used to always carry like a big blanket with me. I used to like cover my car. I used to make sure that I'm changing inside the car. Or sometimes there's like a nearby restaurant or a hotel, I can use, quickly use the restroom and used to change. But again, you cannot shoot on weekdays because weekdays pretty crowded office hours. You cannot shoot because everybody is like out there working. Weekends are the only time you get to shoot, and that's also Sunday because Sunday in the morning lesser crowd comes out. So outdoor there are a lot of things where you have to like think about it. Sunday is the only day, and also early morning. You can't shoot after 12 because again it's so super hot. Then after 12 people get out, and Sunday again in town. I used to love shooting in South Bombay. So 12 o'clock ke baad and Sunday also you cannot shoot because people used to come out shopping, mopping, and everything. So early morning is the best time to shoot. That I used to I used to always wake up at 4, 5 o'clock, get ready, 6 o'clock out of the house, 6 to 10 shoot, come back. When I used to shoot a lot of outdoor content. So yeah, there are a lot of challenges, but you gotta ignore it once. And again, I said when I'm doing my job, I just focus on that. I used to never like pay attention like कि कौन क्या देख रहा है. So just like हाँ ठीक है.
तो ये कोई नहीं देखता होगा ना कि 5 बजे 4 बजे उठ के कोई गया है.
वही like जो behind the scenes है ना, like जो इतना ready होना, उठना, drive करना, वहाँ जाके लोकेशन स्काउट करना, लोकेशन राइट चल रहा है कि नहीं चल रहा है, एंड वहाँ पे लोग हैं, वहाँ पे लोगों को परेशान नहीं करना. लाइक ऑफ कोर्स आई एम नॉट कम हियर टू लाइक bother them. So you do like some one location not working, the second location you do scout, and there's so many things which goes on, creating a lot of things which I think people have learned it over the time. But when we were doing it like earlier, people did not know okay so much of things used to go to create one piece on Instagram. Yeah.
What's the biggest learning from international experiences that you have?
Biggest learning, I'll give you one short story firstly. So when I went to New York again, New York was one of a learning trip for me because I learned so many things. I had hired 2 interns over there. One was like going to be shooting me and assisting me and coming with me, and the other one was like taking care here and there, like running around work and everything. So I had left my suitcase with her. And I told her ki, you know what, I'm going for my fitting, so can you just quickly meet me back in the hotel and get my suitcase there. And that day I was so caught up the whole day that I forgot, like I did not pay attention if the suitcase has reached back in my room. So and I had multiple shows, so I was running from here to there, I was doing all of that. And later in the night, and I was jet lagged, so I wasn't getting sleep. So later in the night, I have woken up around 3, and I'm like, chalo, chalo, let me start packing for the morning, which I have. Like I had to shoot that morning, and I couldn't find the suitcase in my room. So I have messaged in the group, hey, where did you keep the suitcase? And the room was also very tiny, so I couldn't see the suitcase. I was like, pakka, they have forgotten it at a Starbucks. So I wasn't worried, okay. And I was like, okay, no problem, I'll quickly go and get the suitcase if they've forgotten it. And they said, oh yeah, we've forgotten the suitcase. So I was like, okay, so first learning I learned that I cannot leave my belongings to anybody. I can't be dependent on somebody like that. I had to take care of my own belongings. So I gone to Starbucks in the morning, and I have like ordered breakfast, and I'm like all set, and I've told the manager, hey, I forgot my suitcase, can you quickly bring it? And the manager has come to me after 5 minutes, and she's like, hi ma'am, we have tossed the suitcase. They threw the suitcase. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they threw the suitcase. So I was like, did you just throw a big suitcase? But yeah ma'am, we're not allowed to keep any lost and found item if the person is not returning in 4 hours. I was returning after 7-8 hours, so we tossed it. So I was like, oh my god. And I had like sourced a lot of outfits for my shoots. There were a lot of luxury bags in my suitcase. So I had a roller coaster. I've started crying, I've started howling. I'm like, okay, what just happened with me? And then after 10 minutes, I had one of my friend also with me. So I thank my God that he was with me, because if he wasn't going to be with me, I would have never found my suitcase. Then the managers come back to us, and they looked in the camera and they said, oh ma'am, we just saw that a beggar has picked your suitcase at 1:15 in the night. So I was like, I'm supposed to find a beggar in the street?
Oh.
I was like, what just happened with me? And and I was sobbing. I was just sobbing. Babe, I couldn't. I had lost my hope. I'm gonna get it back. But luckily, my friend started running around in that area. He went to the other lane, and he went here and there. And I could see what he was doing, okay? So I could see him from far, and suddenly he's just picked up, like from my eye, I can't say anything. From his eye, the suitcase was like, the beggar was sleeping, and one beggar was sleeping, and the suitcase was behind that beggar. He's picked up suitcase. Is that your suitcase? I was like, yeah, and we have ran from there. I was like, why are we running? It's my suitcase. We got it back. But why are we running? And by God's grace, he was there. He found the suitcase. I have ran with my suitcase back to the hotel. Opened the suitcase. Everything was there. Everything was there in my suitcase. I really got, again, prayers or whatever you could say. I reached at 6 in the morning. If I would have reached at 8, I would have never found the suitcase. I would have like a full scar throughout my life. So yeah, so what I learned from there, that you cannot ever be dependent on anybody over there. What is yours, you have to like monitor 24/7. Even if you're hiring people, you have to be there you have to be on your toes there. So yeah, that's what I've learned.
And I really think you have to have control of everything.
You do. Like if I keep speaking about this experience, I always go back. I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, that day I still have like a crazy memory. But yeah, luckily I got it back, and by God's grace. So yeah, so what is the biggest learning? Even if you're hiring a team internationally, you have to monitor it throughout. You can't be dependent on anybody there.
I hope there are no more scary stories for you.
Babe, my life has been tufani only. If me and you will set up an interview, I'll keep talking about what has happened in my life. It's been tufani.
No, I'm here for you. Tell me.
Done.
Coming to your family, I know that you're very close to your family as well. I've seen them in your videos also. A couple of, not many, but a couple of. How's that with that? How are they on board with your idea of fashion content creation? Because I know that time it wasn't an easy choice for parents also to let their kids be a creator or a blogger.
That's absolutely correct. And a lot of like my friends do know it, but I think my Insta fam doesn't know it. I've never said it. So I've been a single mother child, and I've never ever been vocal about it, never spoken about it. And I think I was never ever ready to tell the world about it. I don't know, somehow you're born up in such a society where somewhere you just keep it to yourself, something. So my life has been very, very different. But to be very honest, I've been in touch with my father multiple times, and he was the one who actually told me you should do it. You know, even if you have a vision, if you have like something which you are very inclined towards, why not? Let's just try how it goes and how things will happen for you. And my mother was like, nahi, you need to do a job, like how mothers being mothers, like nahi, to job kar, ye kar, side by side kar. So my Indian family has been I'm talking, sorry. My family have been very, very supportive. My sisters have been super, super supportive. They used to come with me for my shoots. They used to help me a lot. My mother here and there, of course, she been the concerned mother, so she was a little here and there. So I did take up styling jobs while I was blogging as well. But styling job and me, I don't think could ever happen together, because my experience there also, I had a different thing going on over there. So my family has been like, they've been a great support. I have like, every industry, every company or every profession needs investment. So did we. Like people say na कि पैसों की जरूरत नहीं होती, नहीं ऐसा, पैसों की जरूरत हर company, हर brand बनाने में होती है. तो my family did help me in every form and manner, and I'm really, really grateful, because if they wouldn't have helped me, I don't think I would have reached here. Because again, with fashion creation, you need investment. You need to have different outfits. You can style them one outfit in 10 ways. उसके बाद क्या? उसके बाद तो आपको चाहिए ही होगा ना. तो that way my family helped me in a lot of investment. I got a camera, I got lights. I was also major investment back in the days. I was 20, and I was asking them to give me like 2 lakhs for a camera, lights. And there were 2-3 cameras which were like, you should have a digicam, you should have a DSLR and all of that. So I'd invested a lot in that, and they helped me out. And they were, till date, they're very, very supportive, and I'm really, really grateful about it. And I've never spoken about this ever on my social media, and I'm glad I got to speak about it here.
No, as much I could gauge, I know that you're very close to your family in that. I always see that because a couple of things that during COVID that you used to make with your sisters.
Yeah, they are my cousin sisters actually, and I'm obsessed with them. I'm really obsessed with them. Yeah. Yeah.
And were there any friends in something, anyone who influenced you to be a creator? Because
I think my best friend Ashna, of course, like Ashna we've been childhood best friends. We went to the same school. We've grown up together. And forget work. She has been a good influence in my life, just in general. But she has been the like work, and I'm glad we get to work together in the same industry. And we have so much to talk, and she can like connect with me on all the levels. What I'm trying to say, and vice versa. So I think she and my other friends as well, like, if I have to name them, all of them have played a major role of influencing and been an inspiration to me. Like all of my other friends, like Shweta, Tansa, Aman, Pratik, everybody, Akash, everybody have been a great influence. Yeah.
Okay. And what role does collaborating with your peers play in your content industry?
I think it's fun, right? Like once you see peers collaborating together, it's always a fun collaboration. I think it always adds up. People are very much like entho about it, and they were like, oh my god, we never saw this coming, we wanted this. So I think the entho level of the Insta fam, when they see two bloggers or two creators collaborating together, it's always like a fun idea, and I'm always up for it. I think that's a good way also to add a little different element in your content, and it's always fun to mix. Like I don't mind collaborating with a travel influencer, for example. Why not? It doesn't have to be fashion into fashion, but I think it's always like a fun idea.
And how's collaborating with Ashna? Because that's something which is right in your comfort zone as well.
Yeah, it's always fun. Like we both we are not work friends at all. We are like, so it's very like a personal level. Like we both are like in our own zone, comfort, अपने आराम से करते हैं, and it's always fun. And we are like not Instagram besties, we are real besties. Yeah. So I think with her, it's always like it's been very, very natural, very, very like it goes with the flow, nothing to be worried about, and just it comes out very naturally. And
how old were you when you became friends?
When we became best friends, I know since my second standard.
Okay.
Yes, and we've been best friends since 7th standard. Like we've been tight since 7th, or maybe we were what, 12? Oh my god, it's been what? How many years? It's crazy. Yeah, I think we became best friends when we were 12. Yeah.
And how were you? This gives me like, I want to go back and ask, how were you as a kid?
I think I was a very seedy sadi kid. Bachi. I'm joking. I was a very
I can read that in your eyes.
Very fun, naughty, ziddi. That's what they say. What I want, I want. What I don't want, I don't want. I think as a kid, I was very like mama has to do this for me, come what may. So I think, yeah, I was never a pampered child, I would like to say, because my younger sister is the most pampered child. I think the middle ones always like in look like thoda hamisha like I feel like they just I experienced my mother was always like a little strict towards me, not towards the elder one, because I'm the middle one. So I think because of that मैं बहुत जिद्दी भी हो गई. So I think yeah, I was like a cute जिद्दी child.
Okay, so you have middle child problems.
I do. Major. Major.
I want to understand, what are the dark sides of content creation that nobody talks about?
Okay, I'm glad you asked me this question. And I'm going to be very, very candid. I think dark side about content creation right now, if you ask me, if I'm speaking about right now, that I feel you should always value your work, because right now I think a lot of content creators, somehow, I'm not saying all of them, but are getting really exploited because with brands, because they get underpaid or not getting paid, and they the brands, I'm not saying all the brands, I'm just speaking about like specific, just maybe like 10% or 5% or I don't know 15% of them. Like I feel like they should know, content creators should know, like the upcoming creators, whoever, they should know their value, and they should know okay, this is somewhere we need to draw a line, like we can do this much for barter, and after that you need to get paid, because this is like a full-time job. It's not just for fun. So I think nobody's speaking about it. I think nobody's telling that, you know, you should not be working for free for the longest time. You should know that, okay, this is something which I created now. I have to draw my line. This is my value. This is my worth, and you have to stick by it. Do not get scared if the brand is trying to say, you know, if not you, I'll take somebody else. Okay, no problem. Some other brands are gonna come and reach out to you. So you have to be very, very like confident about your work. But again, know your value and know your worth. Free में काम इतना भी नहीं करना चाहिए, I feel, and I think people should talk more about it. Like barter is good to a certain level, but you can't keep exploiting, you know, the whole market. You need to also, the brand should also know that, like, you know, कितना ही आप free में काम करा सकते हो. So I feel that is something nobody's talking about it out loud.
So do you also feel that because content creators have a lot of voice out there and a lot of people are following, they have a clout out there, do you think they have a responsibility to take the culture ahead? They have a responsibility to shape the society in some form?
I think yes, why not? You know, if they already have an audience, if they have a vision, then why not? If they want to say something out loud, if they want to send a message out, if they want to say something vocally and loudly, then why not? They should, and they should do it because they have an audience and the audience follow them for them what they are, and they've created that base, and they want to like change something and they want to raise a voice. For example, if I want to raise a voice for something, then why not? We should, and that would, if it's helping to shape the whole culture or the whole economy, everybody has their own voice to say, and I think they should definitely do that. Yeah.
Okay. And what are some of the interesting facts and trivias about you that nobody knows? And if you want to go back and talk about that Riya.
One interesting fact my team can vouch for, I have a very weird habit. What I do is, if I'm me and you are talking, I randomly start cracking my neck. Randomly. Oh, nowhere. They're talking to me. I'm like, acha, okay. So then I'm just cracking my neck. Nobody knows about me. I love cracking my neck at the weirdest. Like while you're talking to me, I'm like, oh, my neck, I think I can crack it right now. So I have this really, nobody knows about this. And then I love ice. Like my drink, I cannot have anything without ice. Like my glass has to be filled with ice, and I'm okay to have just tusa water and ice bhar. Like it has to be there. Like nobody knows about this.
Don't you get a sore throat after?
No, nothing. I'm blessed. Thank you God. Please, I am blessed. And then other things. Pani puri I love, and I only have pani and puri. I don't have aloo and ragda in it. Just pani and puri. These are like these few facts that a lot of people don't know. And I was actually going to speak about this on my social media recently, like, because I'm completing 10 years. So I was going to say like all these fun facts about me that nobody knows about. And anywhere, anytime, if somebody like is like my, especially my friends, if they're walking like nearby, automatically my hand reaches out to them for them to give me a massage. Automatically, if they're just walking, I'm like, mera haath. So yeah, these are few facts. These are not fashion centric, but these are just few facts about me. Once you ask me, that nobody knows.
I know. I was not hoping that there's some fashion.
Yeah. No, I'm not like. These are like some few facts which I think I've never ever said it out loud, and I was planning to. But again, this is my first time. I'm being so candid, and I'm glad. Yeah.
So did you tried and featuring your parent, your mom in your video sometime?
Yeah. I keep telling her, and we have like whenever I'm trying to get her on my videos or reels, we're always fighting. Firstly, there's always
what's her reaction in general?
She's very cute, but I'm so specific. Mama, ऐसा देखो, Mama, आप ऐसा smile करो. So yeah, I've been like, you know, I've been so like, Mama, आप ऐसे करो, Mama, वैसे करो, and she's so cute that she does it with so much. She's doing it so patiently and so calmly, and you know, even if I'm losing my shit sometimes, like, Mama, क्या कर रहे हो? And she's like, it's okay, हो जाएगा, एक और बार करना है, ठीक है, no problem. So I think I love when my mama is joining me for my shoots, and my audience loves it too. You know, whenever I'm getting my mom, and whenever I'm shooting with my mom, and you know, and I recently did like a very funny content piece for a birthday, and everybody loved it. So my mom has always been the lucky charm. Whenever I'm just going through like a demotivation kind of day, like I'm not motivated, I always say, chalo, we'll do something together, and that somehow people just love it. So my mom has always been.
And which quality of hers do you wish that you had?
Staying calm and not losing her mind. Like she doesn't like.
I know you tried very hard not to use word shit.
Yeah, like I want to be like her. She's very calm, very like patiently listening. I am very hyper. I'm like, "Ye nahi hua." I'm like, no, it isn't. And my mom's so like, okay, Riya, relax. It's okay. Breathe in, breathe. I am not breathing in, breathing out. I'm like, ye kyun nahi aa raha? And my mom is like, हो जाएगा आराम से. So I want to take that, like आराम से हो जाएगा. So yeah, that is something which I want to like take it from her.
And how's it with your siblings when
Love, it's great. Like my younger sister, I'm like her mother. I feel like she has two mothers, Vichari.
she has 3?
She has 3. My elder sister is still okay, but I am like my mother ki bhi mother. I'm like, if my mom is not worried, where is Tisha? Where is she? How can you let her go? No, like I'm like my younger sister is like she has like 2 mothers and she literally tells me, Didi, आप मम्मा लाइक मम्मा एक बार भी फोन करती है आप 10 बार फोन करते हो आप इतना क्यों I'm like again I'm obsessed with her on some other level like Tishu where are you and you know it just somehow it just happens and my elder sister I'm scared of her like
so
she's like
it's going to be
yeah I'm like literally scared of like that one person who I'm scared of is my elder sister and I'm going to be very honest she's been the biggest inspiration I did not mention but she's been the biggest inspiration because she was the first one in her family to start working when she was as soon as she got done with the 12th when she was like 16 she knew her goals she knew that okay exactly want to do something with my life and looking at her I think that early age I was like even I want to do something of my own like she was an air hostess right now she's working somewhere else but I was like wow Kritika is killing it 16 and she knows her goals and I was like 15 I didn't even know what to do and how to do but I think she has been the biggest inspiration too in my journey yeah.
Okay, and if you have to give one message or an advice to your younger self, what will that be?
I think to my younger self, I would say like never imagined that I would be so established. So I would just say we did it. Like you know, like my younger self had visions, and we are working towards achieving it all. Yeah.
If you have to go in future, what do you think that if 15 years from now we look at this time, what's the something that you're gonna miss?
You're gonna miss in my work? You mean
in
to say?
Any life, in work, in life. If you say you were 15 years ahead, and if you have to look back and you see, 15 साल पहले ना मैं ये करती थी. That is something I miss.
I think maybe the energy of shooting and doing things. Very fast like I have a habit of finishing things in a day like I want to get done with my to-do list I will never like not do it so maybe that I would miss because that time I'll be more focused towards different things not that yeah thank you for watching me on Social Catch Up for more such content follow share and subscribe